All right, Shalom. Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Barak. First and foremost, call Halala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Waha, Rakah, Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, the teachers at GMS that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years without wavering, to the left, telling you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, changing the doctrine. I've been watching them. I can go all the way back to when I was a little kid and they were on a talk show saying the same thing. Back when Elder Apostle Tahar was wearing a Mitri. I forget what talk show it was. Donnie or Sally, I don't know. It was one of those talk shows back in the day. I just remember everybody was mad. But anyway, they haven't changed their doctrine. And that's the point. So let's get right into it today. Hopefully this message will be sincerely edifying to the people that hear it. So that's all that really matters in this day and age, is that when you bring out a class, that it's to edify, it's to exhort the people, it's to encourage them, not to gaslight and put doubt and fear in everybody's mind and heart. Like this the scripture in Ephesians that came up earlier. I guess it was Vocab Malone, which he ain't coming on my. I'm not even putting his face on. I don't need none of that. So he's trying to make Ephesians 2:16 all inclusive. So let's get it. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get it in a couple different versions, because this one version I want to get that just kind of nails it. So let's do that. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 2:16 Bible Hub. There it is. And we're going to start with the King James Version. This is Ephesians 2:16. And that he might reconcile both unto Yahweh in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby. Okay? So, what we're going to do now is I'm not going to break it down. I'm going to let Scripture break down Scripture. So I'm actually going to go to a different translation, the New Living Translation, the NLT, and we're going to break it down from the New Living Translation today. So let's go ahead and do that. Together, this is Ephesians 2:16, the NLT. Together as one body, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach reconciled both groups to Yahweh by means of his death on the cross, and our hospitality towards each other our hostility towards each other was put to death. So our hostility was put to death, and together as one body, Christ reconciled. So there's a reconciliation, and there's both meaning two, both groups. So there's two groups that need to reconcile that were hostile against each other. So those are the questions you need to ask yourself when breaking down this scripture. But like I said, today I'm going to let this scripture get broke down through the scripture. So let's go over to the book of the 1 Kings, chapter 12, KJV, authorized. No, authorized. I said authorized. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to read a little bit. Now, I'm going to try and skip through it. I don't know how it's going to work out, but this is 1 Kings starting from the top. So right now, we're going to talk about the hostility and how that hostility was created. So they said that these two groups are no longer going to be against each other. So let's find out what happened in the first place where something like that would even be said, okay? So these two groups must have had something happen for there to be hostility and for them to be separated unto this day, because they still haven't been brought back together. So let's do this. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 12, and we're going to start from the top. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. Rehoboam is the son of Solomon, and he has now become the king of all Israel at this time. And it came to pass when Rehoboam the son of Nebat, and when it came to pass when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of the king Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying. So what are they trying to say to Rehoboam? Let's see. Verse 4. Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. So they're saying, lighten the load, man, and we'll serve you forever. We'll all be together, unified. Okay? And Rehoboam, he answered back. He said, depart for 3 days, and then come again to me. And the people departed. Now, this is where I'm going to skip around a little bit. I'm just going to kind of give you the rundown, and then where we'll jump back in. Okay, so Rehoboam goes and consults. I'm just going to try to tell you what's happening. Just bring it up to speed. So Rehoboam consults with the elders. The elders say, lighten the load, and these guys they'll happily serve you forever. And he kind of just rejects what they're saying. So he goes over to the people he grew up with, his homies, and he tells them, what do you think I should do to these people? And they say that he should not only make his little finger thicker than Solomon's lions, but that that if they were going to, that he had well, how would he say it? He said that his father, sorry about that. His father laid the yoke heavy. He said, I'm going to add to that heavy yoke. I'm not going to make it lighter. He legitimately tells him, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastened you with whips, but I will chasten you with scorpions. So they was like, damn. So jumping down to verse 19, it says, so all Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. Now we have two groups and we have hostility. Did you see that? There's two groups now, the northern and the southern kingdom, and they're hostile against each other. Now I could have read through there and tell you how someone got stoned to death, but I'm just trying to get to the point. Point is, if we found the two groups, and we see that Rehoboam wasn't willing to lighten the load, so they were really angry. So now they're hostile against each other. Great. We've been that way unto this day. The northern and southern kingdom don't get along. So we have to reconcile. Let's find out about that. Reconciliation. Now that we've gone through all that, let's go to the book of Romans. Let's go right to the book of Romans. We're going to do that. And then I'm going to put a full nail in the coffin, and then we're going to call it a day. So Romans chapter 11, and going to the point which is in verse 20, starting at verse 23. Let's get it. Romans 11 and 23. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For Yahweh is able to graft them in again. So they were together at one point, and then there was a separation, but he's saying, I can put them back together again into one body. Okay? So let's keep reading. For thou wert cut out of the olive tree which is wild by nature, and wert grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree. How much more shall these which be the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? So let me just keep reading. Let's get to the point. For I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. And it's not talking about you wicked other nations. I can prove it. It's only for Israel, and all Israel shall be saved. All other nations are less than spittle. You know what? Maybe we need to get that. Let me just read the next verse. Let's just read the next verse and nail that coffin shut that way, because it ain't talking about any other nation other than the northern and the southern kingdom of Israel. So let's read verse 26. Romans 11 and 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, that's Yahushua, and he shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. Neat story. So all Israel's going to be saved. He's going to bring us back together. He can graft in again. Now you got to remember, we were the ones that were separated and split apart in the first place. I just showed you in 1 Kings. So you got to learn how to receive the message and stop listening to these Christians, because they don't come with scripture. I told you I'm breaking scripture down with scripture today. That's how I do it every day, and that's the only way I'm going to do it. And these people out here telling you stuff, but they don't open the Bible. You got to double back and say, hold on now. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something's wrong here. You gotta challenge everything, and if you can't challenge them because they refuse to be challenged, that means they're lying. So, let me go ahead and so let me read it again, verse 26. So all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So you got Jacob and Israel. That's the northern and southern kingdom. Again, they're all going to be together. And it's an all-inclusive. That's what I'm saying. It's all-inclusive. So, for Israel only. Verse 27. This is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. So, let's move on. Now let's just put a nail in the coffin. So we know that Israel's going to be, that Israel, the northern and southern kingdom, can be grafted in again because they were cut off for being wild. And that is literally talking directly about these Gentiles just right from the womb just going off. And they do, man. I don't understand. When we have such a great treasure, why wouldn't we how would you say it? We have such a great treasure, we should protect it. You know, it's like, this is an honor to have this truth. And to be a part of the truth and to reject it, it just seems like somebody giving you $1 million, but you're like, I'd rather just live on the streets. Nobody wants to live on the streets. You just don't understand the gift. But when you do, it's going to be too late. That's why there's 2/3 of you that's got to stick out. So, okay, let's jump around some more. Let's break down some more scripture with scripture. So it's saying grafted in, and it's talking about the branches right off of the olive tree, right? The branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. You know what? Let me show you something. Boast of not against the branches if thou boast. Thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. But actually, it's because of unbelief you were broken off. But anyway, I want to go to the book of Ezekiel and show you that we're going to take that broken branch and we're going to put it back together. And all the people that study know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is the part where we go to Ezekiel chapter 37. We put the nail in the coffin. All Christians have to shut up and learn. And the only reason, you Christians be reading our book. Why don't you just follow the instructions in it? That's why we don't really mess. The Muslims don't have a Bible. Neither does anybody else. Christians have a Bible. And they try to read our book backwards, upside down, everything's done. Why would you read a book and say, It's meaningless to say everything's done away with and it's not this, it's that. It's like, it's meaningless. All you're doing is gaslighting the whole truth. And there's going to be a great reward for the people that do that consistently. Let's go ahead and get Ezekiel chapter 37, starting at verse 15. The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, and what did he say? Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah, and for the children of Israel, his companions. Over here, this is Judah. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. Now I'm going to take these two sticks. I was about to go grab the two sticks, but I'm not. I'm going to take these two sticks and I'm going to join them one into one stick. I'm joining them one to another into one stick. So Ephesians 37 and 17. And join one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in my hand. So Ephesians chapter 2 and 16 is talking about when Yahweh comes back and destroys this place, but first he gets his 1/3. He rejoins these two kingdoms back together again, and that's the reconciliation. The hostility was all the way back since Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, and Jeroboam. So sincerely, if you've got eyes to see and ears to hear, even you Christians, we're trying our best to wake up. There's got to be a few of you that are going to wake up and come into the truth. So if you've got eyes to see and ears to hear, I sincerely hope you got something out of this message. Kol Halayla, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers, bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years. Shalom.